Hey guys, it's Imaj here. Please be sure to subscribe, like the video if you like it, or if you don't, you're my friend, like my video. Be sure to also follow me on Instagram, Imaj Love, EMIAJLUV. Okay, now let's get started. Today I want to talk about the entrepreneur. I actually wrote some things down, trying to be more organized. I know if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I normally have a scarf on, but today the hair is on. Hashtag Ariana Grande. So, I wanted to talk about the art of the entrepreneur, right? Many of us these days, especially, are entrepreneurs. It's a really big deal for the fact that, we're young, we're able to accomplish a lot because there's a lot of resources. But if you run into some of the problems that, like myself, you run into the fact that how the crap do you access these resources when you either don't know the people, you're not in the right places, you weren't raised with the silver spoon, or you just weren't raised in a way that gave you that type of insight. Or maybe it's a situation where you're the first one to do what you're doing, and you got to start from somewhere. You just don't know exactly where to start at, right? I go through the same thing a lot of times, especially like when you watch Shark Tank and things like that. They talk about how the idea is one thing. Okay, the idea is like nothing burger, right? But it's about the work that goes behind it. So a lot of times people talk to you about all these steps that they took, right, to accomplish what they've accomplished or to do what they do, and then on top of that, they keep their business secrets that you're supposed to keep, right? And you feel like, well, that's the shit I need, right? I got you. Well, no, I don't. um, but hey, the idea. Now, the work that goes into it. Me, myself, personally, I have put in a lot of work into what I want to do for my business, okay? I'm talking about research upon research. Now, you can go take the school approach. You can do the I dove right in and found what it was, and it just kind of fell into my lap, and it worked. Or you might have to be like that person like myself where it didn't just fall into your lap and you made other life decisions and choices and you're trying to figure it out and you really want to learn it, but maybe money is the problem, or maybe just not knowing exactly where to begin. But sometimes in order to start, you have to get to the start line, and that takes a lot of work as well, right? So I do a lot of research. At this point, for me in my process, I feel like I've researched so much that I'm done researching. Always learning something new. But oh my gosh, the research sometimes will make you feel overwhelmed because you're like, now you feel like you have all of these answers and you're like, well, how the freak do I do it? And they say, well, you can start this for under $50 or you can start this for free. But you have to actually have something. Watching Shark Tank, I've officially learned that, okay, well, you need to be able to have your set plans. Okay, just like instead of doing a business plan, do a business outline. Okay, the step by step in order to start, right? If you've done all of that, or if you've written it all down, and I'm talking about you learn something new every single time you research. I'm telling you that, I promise. Sometimes I've had books where I didn't even pay 2 seconds on it. The first 3,000-4,000 times 3 years later, I'm like, why didn't I know this? Okay, so you research and you learn something new every single time. Get you a business outline, okay? Get you a business outline. Write what the step-by-step process. Now, if you're in a situation where, okay, this is where I'm poor, I'm broke, I have no job. Okay, that doesn't mean that you can't do your outline. It just means that you have to take some extra steps. Sorry, my hair keeps doing that thing. It just means that you have to take some extra steps, right? So, okay, you need to get you a job, okay? But not just any job, okay? Are you really comfortable with working at Burger King if you're not a manager or is not providing that school benefit for you? Not really, okay? So you need to get you a job that's going to sustain you while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, that you can continuously fund whatever it is, unless you found another way to fundraise or get donations, things like that, okay? Or an investment, okay? So, take those extra steps. It doesn't mean that your business plan hasn't worked or is not working. It just means that you have to include some other things in order to get to your starting line, okay? Number 2, for the business entrepreneur. Remember, especially amongst Black people, because that's why they have these Black people entrepreneur pages to help us more so, I think, because the fact that we kind of have this mindset. Now, it could be for everybody else too, but like I said, just kind of speaking and making sure that we're clear. Remember that there's a difference between being a hustler and an owner, okay? There's a difference between being a hustler and an owner, okay? Hustlers hustle all the doggone time. A lot of times in the entertainment industry, they're hustling. They have to keep doing, they have to keep producing, they have to keep doing all these things. They have to keep their head, they have to keep busy, and they have to make sure that they are popping and out there and doing their thing in order to be able to stay on top or build their status, right? Whereas an owner says, okay, I need to do this, 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 and this. Okay, well, I have this and this. And the owner provides a way for them to not only be able to sit back and focus, but they don't have to put in as much energy anymore into building that status because they've already obtained it. So now it's just about making sure that they elevate it in a different manner. Okay? And I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, goes into I actually ended up seeing it on the I think Black People page where it did an interview with the man during he was a man during the bus boycott back in the day, and basically he was like he said, you know, they talk about this bus boycott thing, and you know they want to sit on the front of the bus or you know whatever the case is, but he said there was what they seem to have forgotten was that there was Black owned businesses and Black owned buses where you don't have to worry about none of that. But see, they wanted to have entitlement rather than just having their own. Okay? Oh my goodness, that was such tea for me. If it wasn't for you, peep it again. They wanted to have entitlement to something that didn't really matter instead of having ownership. Now, take that example and put it into your daily life now, or just looking around you. The people that want the status but are not willing to put in the work. The people that want the name but do not have the credentials, the skills, the nothing, right? Nothing burgers, but they want all these things. It's called arrogance. We call them children. We call them stupid. You know what I'm saying? We call them all these names, but they're amongst us all the time. And sometimes we fall into that position that we are doing that as well, where it's like, myself included, I want to be this, and oh my goodness, okay, by the time I'm 21, I'm just going to do this, it's going to be simple, it's going to be easy, and it's not even halfway that, because I didn't even make halfway of the groundwork to make sure that I executed my position well. It wasn't up to par, and instead of admitting that, I'm just like, well, damn, that sucks. And then what happens? I get discouraged, and then I try to do something else, or, you know, and then you end up finding some years wasted on your life because you just didn't take the steps and you didn't add to the steps where you needed to, so that way you can continue to build. Building takes time. Hustling takes more time, I believe, because hustling is no guarantee that you're going to have or do what you're going to do. I feel like building, it is a damn near shot destination. And it does take the creativity, but it takes those steps. Get creative later, okay? Listen to my next point, which is about the execution. I remember doing my very first fashion show, okay? I worked with I was supposedly teamed up with this young man. He was, I think, a stylist or something like that, and he knew somebody who had a pretty big house. And so he had got all the chairs, but they really already had the chairs. He told me that he had certain things that I thought, okay, this checks off the list. He said he'd be in charge of the flyers. For me, I was in charge of bringing the designs and, you know, doing the extra stuff. I was actually in my school yearbook for doing this. And the school photographer girl, she came and she was part of the journalism, and she took pictures of me working with a model that I once knew. And it was cool, right? But no one showed up. It was not even halfway the outcome, okay, of the fashion show that I wanted to have, that I thought I would have, due to lack of communication, due to lack of planning, due to lack of understanding, due to lack of skills. Some of my clothes were improperly made, okay, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to work it today. And, you know, basically it all falls under execution. When you plan and you take the steps, you're able to execute your ideas a little bit more clearly. Again, it's not a race. Sometimes it feels like a race. Sometimes it feels like you're behind. But everybody says, and there's these beautiful quotes that say, you run the race at your own pace, period, point blank. Okay? People have their come-ups or their time at different spaces. And it's due to all types of different things of life. Remember to run the race at your pace. Remember to take the steps for your life to make sure that you're in control you're understanding, and you're patient. And that's not always an easy thing. I'm going through that myself, even with building my business, even with stepping into something that's different for me as far as life choices go as well. It's not the easiest thing. But if you continue to put in the work, I encourage you to stay encouraged and just say, oh, I don't have the job yet, but I'm just going to keep on applying to this job because this is the job that I get to use and I know will set me up to build on my skills. I can use it while I'm in school, and while I'm trying to build my business, it goes right on into that area. And as I learn, I will continue with these things. I want to buy a house. That's not going to take much. I found this thing. Okay. And those are the things that I want to do. And just stay focused. Stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize and take the steps, period, point blank, so you can execute it how you should execute. And that it'll, and even if it's not perfect, it'll be a much better outcome than where you first started off. And here's the last step that I'm going to share today. When you get your business, when you're owning your shop, your boutique, your whatever, your insurance company, who cares? When you're owning these things, right? You have the ownership. Do not get lazy, okay? I see that especially in the Black communities, but I see that so much overall. You know, that's where you skip the steps, okay? You don't, for example, good one. You don't become a hairstylist and then you say, okay, I'm a hairstylist and I own my own business and I'm gonna just come in whenever I want to come in. I'm gonna make an appointment I'm booked all this time. I'm making an appointment and then, you know, I'm just gonna pass her off because I don't feel like coming in. My nails was taking too long. Like, you don't do that. People get mad at that. That is why your business hasn't grown where you think it's grown. I've met celebrity hairstylists, a few being in Sacramento. And I remember I got my hair done and I had an appointment with the owner because she was known to be good. She was a celebrity hairstylist, but she decided to pass me off to one of her clients. And I was just like, you know, okay. And the girl did okay until later on I found out that she actually took up my edges with my very first lace front. So I was like, what the heck is wrong with this? You need to be accountable for your business. Your business is an everyday job. In order to keep your business going, you have to be there. You are the boss. You are the manager. The fish rots at the head. Period, point blank. It doesn't rot at the tail. It rots at the head. So if you're not on your job, don't expect for anyone else to be. There should be effective trainings and management and tutorials that you should be doing with your clients. There is always a way to grow and build your business and build your brand and create a safer and better environment. And that takes for you to work, not just on celebrities because you feel like you have it like that. There are millions of people who work with celebrities and things like that. You are no one special until you're special. Okay? Be sure to be accountable for your business. Period, point blank. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It takes work to have it. It took a lot of work to get what you got, but at the same time, it takes a lot of work to keep it. Make sure your money's on point. Make sure this is on point. But that's why, because it was a question that actually had come up through with one of my friends, and they say, you know, I would rather go to the white people business. And this is not trying to make a racial thing. I'm just saying, they're like, you know, I want to go to the white people business. You know, black people late and they rude, and then they get choosy what they do and don't want to do. You know, for example, hairstyles with your hair. You want to charge $200 and $300, but you don't know how to style it. You charge $200 and $300, but you tell me I have to wash my own hair. You know what I'm saying? There is just some things that are just like, okay, yeah, you're the boss and you can make your own rules, but God dog it. If I'm gonna pay you $200 and $300 and $400, I'm gonna need you to come with some magic tricks and start pulling some rabbits out some hats. Instead of me sitting up here having to do all this legwork just to be able to see you, you're not Oprah doing my hair. You ain't Beyonce's hairstylist. And the reason why Beyonce's hairstylist is doing Beyonce's hairstylist is because of the fact that they put in the work and they got to be Beyonce's hairstylist. You think they can do Beyonce's hair and don't want to wash her hair and don't want to do this and don't want to do that? I don't think so. Realize what separates the workers from the greats. Okay? Going back to the whole, because I lost track for a second, but going back to the whole, you know, white people business versus black people, y'all have all these little things going on that you don't want to do or that you become lazy about because you feel like you own and you're entitled. You're not. Smart business owners understand the quality of customer service. And if you don't have good customer service, and if you're not on time and diligent about what it is that in your craft, then you're not going to go as far as you think you should go. Period, point blank. Don't get lazy when you feel like you've reached the top of where you reach the top at, because there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. There's always room to be better than what you were yesterday. All right. So that's to the entrepreneur. Hope you liked the video. Remember, check me out on Imaj Love, EMIAJLUV on my Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn now. I will also have a few different designs on my Etsy, so be sure to check that out, as well as follow, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much and be blessed.